Welcome to Post Scholars channel. If you are preparing for NECO exam, WAEC exam, JAMB exam, or any other college exams, then this video is for you. The title of this video is How to Find Unknown Angles of Triangle, right? And then I've shown you fundamentals, like I've given you the fundamentals of triangle, right? The properties, the classifications, the congruency, and a lot more. So do well to check the previous videos that I've made. So we have two examples we are going to solve together, and it says in the following figures find the angles marked X and Y, right? So this is the first diagram we are going to attempt together. So without further ado, let's get started. Good. This is the diagram, right? Now, whenever you want to solve problems, any problem involving geometry, right, particularly triangle, you must watch out for the instruction given, right? You don't assume your own instruction. You work with the instruction you have been given, right? Good. So let's analyze this diagram quickly. Now, this diagram is saying this side, right, this side are equal. It's also telling us that this line, right, is parallel to this line. I told you that this symbol means parallel. It simply means when you extend this line and when you extend this line also, they can never meet. It continues like that till infinity, right? So let's solve. And again, this small square in between the angle means this angle, the size of this angle is 90 degrees, right? So with those information, let's get started. So what do? We already know that this triangle is an equilateral triangle. That means the size of each of this angle must be equal. And remember, we already know that the sum of angle in a triangle is 180 degrees. So let us share 180 among these three angles. When we do that, we have that each of these angles will be what? 60 degrees. So let's label it. Let's angle A, right? Yes, angle B, and yes, angle C, right? So what I can do is A is equals to 60 degree, right? B is equals to 60 degree, and C is equals to what? 60 degree. Now, with that information, what do we do next? Remember, the mission is to find the value of X and Y, right? So what I can do now is to use the alternate angle principle, right? Alternate angle. If you check, there is a Z here. For you to identify an alternate angle, you must always check for Z. Look at the symbol Z, like this, and like this. It simply means this angle, which is angle C, is equals to this angle, which is angle Y. So I can say that Y is equals to what? 60 degree without any issue. Now, what's the reason? You indicate alternate angle. Next, we are done solving Y. Next, we need to find our X. Now, how do we find X? Remember, we have gotten B. What's the B? Angle B is equals to 60 degrees. So automatically, without any issue, our X is going to be what? 60 degrees also. Why? Because this angle and this angle are alternate, right? I mean vertically opposite rather. Whenever you form the shape X, I've told you several times, this angle and this angle are equal, right? So I can say X is also equals to 60 degrees. And what's the reason? Vertically opposite angle. Next, question 2, which is letter B, right? So let's solve question 2. All right, this is the diagram for question 2, right? Now the question says we are to find the value of what? X and Y. X and Y. Now what comes to our mind? We need to analyze the diagram first of all, right? So the diagram is saying this side is equals to this side, right? This side is also equals to this side. We have two triangles infused together. This is the first triangle and this is the second triangle, right? So let's get started. Since we know that this side and this sides are equal, automatically this is an isosceles triangle. And one property of isosceles triangle says the base angle are equal. If two sides are equal, then the base angle of those sides are also equal. So let's label the triangle. So we can label here A, angle A. Definitely we can say angle A is equals to what? 50 degree, right? Angle A is 50 degree because this angle and this angle are equal. So I can write it. What's the reason? Base angle of isosceles triangle. Next, now that I've gotten the value of A, it's easier for me to find angle X. this using the information of sum of angles in a triangle. So I can say x plus 50, we know a is 50 now, x plus 50 plus 50 equals 180, right? So x plus 50 plus 50 equals 180. And what's the reason? Sum of angle in a triangle. So let's simplify quickly. 50 plus 50 gives 100. So we have x plus 100 equals 180. Now we'll subtract 100 from both sides. So we have x equal 180 minus 100. And when you do that, x equals 80 degree. Now we have gotten the value of x, right? Next, we need to find the value of what? Y, or the size of y. Now what do? Let's label this angle with letter B, right? And this angle also with letter B. The reason why we are labeling it with the same letter is because we already know that this side and this side are equal. Automatically, this angle and this angle will also be equal. This is an isosceles triangle. Now, with this information, we can now sum up these two sides are equal triangle using the principle of sum of angle in a triangle by saying B plus 72 equals 180. So let's write that down. B plus 72 equals 180. And what's the reason? Sum of angle in a triangle. Next, we simplify. B plus B gives 2B plus 72 equals 180. Next, subtract 72 from both sides. Then we have 2B equals 180 minus 72, right? Then we have 2B equals 180 minus 72 gives 108. Yes, 108 degree, 108. And when you divide both sides by 2 so that we can be left with B, you have 2 cancels 2. Then B is equals to 108 divided by 2. That gives 54 degree, right? 54. Now we have gotten the value of B as 54. Let's go back to the diagram. So B is equals to what? 54 degree. Similarly, B here also, the value of B here also is what? 54 degree, right? So what we'll now do is we'll now use the principle of angle on a straight line. This is a straight line, right? This is a straight line. So the sum of this angle, and this angle must give 180 degree. And remember, we know the value of A. The value of A is 50. The value of B is what? 54. So we need to find the value of Y. So we can now say 50 plus B is 54. Okay. So 50 plus 54 plus Y equals 180. So let's write that down. 50 plus 54 plus Y equals 180 degree. Now 50 plus 54 gives 104. So we have 104 plus Y equals 180 degree, right? Subtract 104 from both sides. Then we have Y equal 180 minus 104. Then Y is equals to 180 minus 104 gives 76 degree. Good. Now we have found the value of Y. We have also found the value. We have found the value of X, and we have also found the value of Y. I believe it is well understood. So we have solved these two questions, right? So whenever you want to solve problem like this, look at the diagram very well, right? Understand the diagram, right? Check if the sides are equal, check for the angle, check for every possible information. And like I always tell you, always use the information given to you to solve the problem. Don't assume any information. For example, I was not told that here is 90 degrees. So if I now assume by putting a small square here, I've altered the question, right? So always work with the information given to you. I believe it is well understood. See you in my next video. God bless you and bye.